Welcome back to Cosmetics Anonymous. I am your favorite girl, Bo Vintage, and today's video is of course a girl talks a Botox video where I am going to give your lives a lift. So we're gonna get right into this because the amount of relationship questions I got, it was ridiculous, and I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna have to dedicate a whole entire video to relationship questions because clearly y'all is going through some stuff, honey. I was getting these emails, I was like, yes, this is tea. So let's get into this, okay guys, because I know you guys are thirsty. Okay, so I think that because of how many questions there are, I won't be reading all of the questions to you guys just because it's gonna take too much time. So what I'm going to do is insert the questions, let y'all read them for yourself, and then we'll get into the advice after, okay? So I recently got back with my ex, and the reason we broke up was the lack of communication. It was that bad because I was the one checking up on him all the time or asking him to call me. At some point, he even stopped picking up my calls, and it was basically he calls me, but I would never call him. So when we got back together, he was putting in more effort to call, but he wasn't there. Like, we just have boring ass conversations. I want to know if I'm just being a crazy girlfriend by wanting him to actually talk and text me first, not every single minute of the day. And what is your take on communication when it comes to you and your man? Communication is key in a relationship between you and somebody else, whether it's just a friend or a lover. Like, communication is key, point blank, period. If you guys aren't communicating, there is no relationship, because how do you satisfy your partner, or how do you make somebody else happy if you're not communicating what you need from them and them communicating what they need from you? In this particular situation, if my man ever tried to make, well, we live together, so it can't really go this way, but like if we didn't live together, which there has been a point where we didn't live together, if he was trying to only call me and I couldn't call him, red flag would be raised, honey. Like, no, it's not going down like that. You're not gonna just ask me to fall back. Like, if I'm your girlfriend, if we're taking things seriously, you should always be there for me no matter what. There should not be a situation or a time where I can't call you. And even if they missed the call, at least call back. Like, you know what I mean? You shouldn't ever have to just be waiting by the phone like, oh my God, is he gonna call me? Is he gonna call me? Like, no, we don't do that. No. So in your particular situation, I'm just going to advise you that if you are the only girl in the picture, there shouldn't be a reason why he can only call you and you have to wait for his calls. Of course, nobody's gonna be texting you and calling you all day long, which is fair, but at least once a day. Like, you know what I mean? If you guys don't live together, especially if you guys don't see each other often, if it's a situation where it's not really long distance, but it's like the time is never being found to see each other, then you just need to reevaluate the whole entire situation. And if he was your ex once, he just might end up being your ex again. I wouldn't say to put too much energy into it. If you already communicated that you don't like what's going on and he hasn't made an effort to change the fact that there's a lack of communication there, especially on his end, then just leave the situation. Obviously, I can't tell you what to do. Like, you're gonna end up doing what you want to do anyway, but I'm going to advise you that you deserve better than that, and every woman has a point where they walk away. So you're either going to put up with what he's doing to you, or you're going to put your foot down and you're going to leave the situation. This person wanted to remain anonymous, so I can't really address her by her name, so we gonna call her CC. So CC, get your man's life, okay? All right, next question. It's a long one, so I'm not gonna read it to you guys. I'm gonna pop it right here, let you guys read it. baby girl, my sincere advice to you is to let this nigga go, okay? Because the issue started when you guys he seems like a douche, but whatever. The issue started when you became friends with benefits. Friends with benefits almost, not even almost, friends with benefits never works out. It never turns into a relationship. And if it does, the relationship doesn't have much substance, because when you are in that category of friends with benefits, that is entirely pleasure seeking. It is just two people hooking up, free dick and pussy. That's all it is. And eventually people get caught up in it. Like, it's always one or the other, and it's never both. It's never both people saying, wow, my feelings, I'm starting to develop feelings for you, I think we should take this a little further. No. Once you let a man inside you, like, y'all is just connected. And so oftentimes it is the woman that catches the feelings and not the guy. That's why friends with benefits is so dangerous, because it's just like, you don't know what you're getting yourself into before, like, especially if this is your first time having a friends with benefits, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. And it's just such a sticky territory that, no, I don't advise anybody to become friends with benefits unless you have, like, the mindset that you know for sure that you'll not get attached to this person and you can walk away like that. The fact that he has blocked you on social media is a sign in itself. Like, that's like the ultimate disrespect to a girl. Like, you ain't about to block me. You're not gonna do it. You're just not. Like, I'm not having it. I think that you should just cut him off. Don't try to communicate with him. Don't try to message him, because from he said, let's build to that, you should have known better. Because when a man says that, like, he's playing a game. Like, this man's not for real. And if you were building to that, then the sex should have came after. Like, let the sex come after you guys build the relationship and not up front. Because when you do that, it's like, what am I waiting? Like, what else does this woman have to offer me? Fuck all. Leave the situation. Don't even pay it any more energy. Don't pay it any mind. There's plenty of men out there. He's not worth your time. And just by reading the email, I could tell that he, like, no, like, this is not somebody that wants to be with you, and this is not somebody that you should want to be with. So just walk away, because that was really your only question. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Okay, bitch. Better go watch Frozen, honey. You better go watch Frozen and learn you something, okay? So that's my advice to you. And girls, if I'm giving you this advice and you're not content with it, email me so we can talk. But this is like the mom advice that I give. If you don't want mom advice, do not send me an email, honey, because I'm giving out mom advice. Alright, so next question, shall we? I used to date this boy, but I broke up with him because he cheated quite a lot and invited other girls to his house, then would come to mine after he'd been with other girls. But I always took him back. Now that I don't want him and I've moved on to another boy, he comes to my house still to apparently talk to my mom or coming to see her boyfriend. I don't know what to do because my mom thinks it's rude to tell him to leave because he's a family friend even before we went out. Ew. Even though I tell him to get out of my house, he won't listen. What should I do? Okay. This is why you can't really be dating family friends, because you're always going to, if it doesn't work out and you don't get married and run off into the sunset, you guys are always going to end up seeing each other. The person's not going to just stop coming around just because things with you went sour. Ultimately, you can't really control what this man does. People do what they want to do. Your mom is very wrong, by the way. It's not rude to ask him to leave, especially if she knows your history with him, and the fact that he's disrespected you as her daughter. I'm kind of confused by how she allows him to still come over. I think you should have a conversation with your mom and tell her, maybe she doesn't know all the details of your relationship, so maybe you should explain to her the relationship and why you don't want him to come over, because he's disrespected you in the worst way, which is cheating. So talk to your mom, tell your mom what happened in your relationship if she doesn't know already, and even if she does know, still talk to her and just explain to her why you're uncomfortable with him coming over. And hopefully your mom will understand that and he won't be able to come over as often, especially if you are there. If anything, he should be messaging before he comes over, so if you are there and your mom tells you, you can either leave, which you shouldn't have to, or your mom can say, not today, honey, you can't come today, maybe another day, my daughter's here, she doesn't really want to see you, and I have to respect her wishes as well. So until you start paying rent, honey, you don't really have a say in this one. But at the end of the day, if this were me in the situation, I would have to speak to my mother. But I know that my mom's not like that. Like if one of my exes were trying to come around, my mom would be like, who the hell is you? Fuck out. Like, no.
What are you talking about? I'm getting some stew peas.
Shut the fuck up. Anyway, you think if Shooter and I break up that he's allowed to come to my mom's house on the fly?
You're not.
No.
You're not allowed to go to your mom's house on the fly.
Are you stupid?
I can go. You can't go.
Oh my god. Okay. Anyway, here's another long one. So okay. Because you've been in this relationship for 8 years, I get how hard that would be to walk away, despite the fact that this man is a bum. Because he is like, he's shown you from the very beginning he was a bum, and I honestly think that God sent his little ass to jail so that you could get away. Because if he went to jail for 4 years, what were you doing in that 4 years? Like, were you visiting him? Were you communicating with him that whole entire time? Because within that 4 years, you should have been able to, that was like a blessing. Like you would have been able to walk away from the situation, because he's not bringing anything to the table. So you could have found somebody else in that time, but because you didn't and you wasted time on him still, now you're stuck. And so it's like 8 years later, what do I do? How do I start over? And I don't know how old you are, which is irrelevant at this point, but there's no such thing as it being too late to start over. Like, there's 50-year-olds that are dating. It's hard to walk away from certain situations, especially when you've invested time like that, but you have to really look at yourself and ask yourself, do I deserve this? Because from the jump, you were looking at apartments, he was looking at condos. He's probably selling weed out his mama's basement. Like, if he's a broke drug dealer, I imagine that's what he was doing. And for him to have wanted to get a place with you, he was just trying to use you, and he did successfully use you. There's no reason for a man that is not working and is barely making any money off of slang and dope or whatever he was doing to be looking at condos. Like, no, boo-boo, your chest is too high. Like, what are you even thinking? Then the whole situation with the car, like, if it's not your car and you're not whipping the car, you ain't driving the car, there's no reason for you to be putting money into the car. Unless everyone, like, if he's picking you up and stuff and every once in a while you're like, hey babe, I'll get your gas for you, like, that's a totally different situation. But he wanted you to pay for the detailing on this car. Like, nah. No, never that. Like, what? What? Why is he even buying a car? He can't even afford anything. Like, I think that you know, or you knew better, but there was something about him that just made you want to stay. Unless you guys are living together right now, you need to just get a new number and fall off the face of the earth. If you live in a small city where you're guaranteed to bump into him, okay, it doesn't even matter. Like, you just need to cut ties. Cut ties, move on. Is it gonna be hard? Yes, but this is life. Like, life's not supposed to be easy. Relationships are not supposed to be easy. But if you're in a relationship with somebody and they're not bringing anything to the table other than a fucking bucket hat, then why are you here? Like, you need to be in a relationship where it's equal. You can't be up here and your man is down here. You can't even see because he doesn't even fit into the damn camera frame. Like, no. It almost seems as if though you're in a mentally abusive or an emotionally abusive relationship, because what exactly do you mean by he won't allow you to leave? Like, he doesn't have a say. He does not have a say whether you leave or not. That is ultimately up to you, how you feel in your heart. He has no control over you and what you're going to do. Only you have control over you and what you're going to do. So if you're saying that he's not allowing you to leave, then that's you not allowing yourself to leave. That's not him. So if you want to leave, get up and leave. If you live with him and you got to go stay at your mama's house, your friend's house, whoever's house, just do it. Like, don't sit there in that situation for any longer, because you don't have to. You don't have to. Let me tell you something. There's always options, okay? Never think that you don't have options. You may be backed into a corner, but if you are backed into a corner, you'll find your way out of that corner. Trust me, I know. So that's the main thing that I want to stress to you, is that you are definitely in control of your own fate. You don't have to stay with this boy if you don't want to. If you try to say, I'm done with you, or he's saying no, like, what the fuck do you mean no? I just told you I'm done. Goodbye. See you later. See you never. Like, that just is what it is. If you stay with somebody, it's because you want to and you want to work on it. But also remember this too, you cannot change a man. A man will change for you if he has the desire to. You can't force him to get a real job. You can't force him to not sell drugs. You can't force him to do any of those things. You can't force a man to do anything. He's gonna do it if he loves you, and if he wants to actually change, he will. But a broke drug dealer always gonna be a broke drug dealer, boo boo. Like, and what are you doing with the likes of him? Like, nah. Okay, that's my advice to you. I really hope you take it, because 8 years is a really long time to be with somebody. So yes, I get the heartache that that's gonna cause, but at the same time, you're going to feel a lot better after you take the steps to, in fact, take care of yourself and put yourself first. Because right now, from the very beginning, you've been putting this man first. You moved out, or you moved in with him, or you found a place to live with him. He goes to jail. He's making you pay for half of the car that has nothing to do with you. Like, from the very beginning, you've been putting him before yourself. And a lot of women are guilty of doing this. I'm definitely have done this myself. Anyway, that is what I'm gonna advise you to do, okay, honey? So I hope you found that helpful, and if you didn't, of course, you can send me an email, blah blah blah. Okay, next question. Our arguments usually start over nothing. Like, we will be having a good normal day, and then I'll say or do something small that I would just brush off, and he goes crazy and gets super angry and yelling and everything. Like, for example, one of my friends who is a guy texted me around the holidays and said, "Happy holidays, I hope all is well," and he read it and got super angry that I didn't tell him, and he left and ignored me for the rest of the day. So again, this sounds like an emotionally abusive relationship, and a lot of people don't like to admit that they're in any kind of abusive relationship, whether it be physical or emotional. Now, there's being petty, and then there's being ridiculous. And from what you're telling me, it doesn't sound like he's being petty. It sounds like he wants to control you, and he wants to have control over you. If a guy were to text me happy holidays, simple as that, nothing explicit, and my boyfriend were to read it, he wouldn't react that way. So that's not normal behavior for somebody to do. And if you took this person back after they fucked up, they're still going to be sitting with that guilt inside them. Because if the fuck up was like something like cheating, like, they're going to be still sitting with that guilt inside of them, and they're going to try to flip every argument so that they're never ever, so that you won't bring it up, and so that you almost feel scared to fight back. But you can't be in a relationship like that, because arguing is a part of a healthy relationship. So don't let all the arguments be one-sided. If you are going to stay with this person and continue your relationship with them, try to stand up for yourself. If you can't, then again, you just need to move on, because there's no point in being in a one-sided relationship. That's like an oxymoron. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Definitely try to communicate with him how you're feeling, because the same way you reached out to me, you need to reach out to him and just be like, I don't feel comfortable in our relationship. You're always mad at me, you're always yelling at me, and I don't deserve that. I'm not doing anything wrong. The other thing that you need to think about is things that you may not take that seriously, other people do, or other people will, and that goes both ways. So he might do something small that pisses you off, that's small to him, but it's not small to you. And so that is also something to keep into consideration, because you may think that what you're doing isn't that big of a deal, but to him it is, and that's something that you have to just figure out. Is he being realistic, or is he being an asshole? So the text message thing though, like, unacceptable. I'll tell you that right now. That's unacceptable. Like, you're not about to read my text and there's nothing in there and you're still gonna freak out. Like, what? Why? If he's getting super crazy and super angry, you need to be watching out for yourself first. You need to protect yourself first, because it only takes one time for him to get so explosive that your ass is on the ground, honey, and you don't need that. So please just be careful and make sure that you express this to somebody else other than just me, just in case. Like, you know what I mean? If you talk to him and nothing changes, then you know what you need to do. In my personal opinion, I think that you do mean something to him, and that's exactly the reason why he's not gonna say something like that. Because for somebody to say you mean nothing to me, you ain't shit, is really harsh. And I think it might just be a case of he, as much as you do mean to him, he doesn't want to go through whatever you guys already went through again, which is perfectly normal. If he's not saying that you don't mean anything to him, it's obviously because you do mean something to him, but you probably don't mean as much as you're thinking you might mean to him. Do you get what I'm saying? But my advice to you is don't mix exes and liquor ever again, honey. That is not a good idea, okay? I don't think he's playing mind games with you. I think he genuinely does care about you, but he's not trying to take it back to where it was before. Try not to think too hard about it. Don't message him. Just leave the situation alone. As soon as you feel like you're like able to move forward, he's going to message you and you're gonna be like, oh my god, why? He's gonna message you and he's gonna be trying to check up on you and stuff. Just ignore him and keep it pushing. Like, leave him out of the picture, point blank, period. My advice is so horrible. Like, I feel like I'm just telling everybody, leave your man, leave your man, leave your man. But like, the situation that you guys are giving me, I'm just like, at the end of the day, it's common sense. Like, okay, just, you need to cut it, okay? You cut it, okay? Hey girl, so I've been dating my boyfriend for 4 months now. We've gotten pretty serious pretty quick. We have a strong connection and I truly see a future with him. My problem is anything involving his past, aka other girls, bothers me so much and it gets to me, but I don't want to let that shit out of me because obviously it was before me. I had an ex of 3 years who really screwed with my emotions and confidence, and I think it's because of him that I lack confidence because he physically and emotionally abused me. I just want some advice on how to deal with a boyfriend's past and accept it and to regain confidence. Thanks a bunch. Anonymous. Okay, Miss Anonymous. Hey boo, how you doing? So when you're coming out of an abusive relationship, whether it be emotionally or physically or both, like, it is hard to pick up the pieces and become the self that you were before you met that person or before you encountered that person and before that person just drained you and stripped you of everything positive about yourself. To regain confidence, you honestly just have to tell yourself or remind yourself every time you look in the mirror that you are not who your ex made you feel like you were. Write down on a piece of paper all the things that you want to be, and every day when you wake up and you look in the mirror, tell yourself those things. Tell yourself that you are those things. Tell yourself that you are positive. Tell yourself that you are beautiful. Tell yourself that you are amazing. Like, just tell yourself all the things that you want to be, and that's basically speaking them into existence. That's the best way for you to regain confidence, is to fake it till you make it. Basically, if you have to wake up every morning and tell yourself that you are confident, then let that be the case. Even if you don't feel confident, tell yourself that you are confident, and you'll start to believe it, and then you'll become it. You see what I get what I'm saying? I think that's the best thing for you to do to regain confidence. As far as your new boyfriend's past, his girlfriends or whatever, those girls are gone. They're no longer a part of his life. You are the new girl in his life, and everybody has a past. Everybody has exes. That's something that you're just going to have to deal with. Don't think too much about it, because he's with you now. He's not with them. So for you to be even wasting your energy on who he used to speak to or be with is it's not even any of your business, to be honest, because it's in the past. So don't worry too much about it. It's nothing to be getting, unless they're like trying to message him and like come back into his life and they're just really annoying. That's a totally different situation, but I didn't really get that from what I read. If he does still communicate with his exes, that's something you're gonna have to talk to him about. Unless you have like a kid with them, it's like, why? Like, I don't believe that once you break up with somebody, y'all can be friends. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Whether the breakup was mutual or not, if you guys don't have kids, I don't see any reason for communication. You're an ex, goodbye, see you never, don't need to talk to you, like, what? You don't exist. So if it's a thing where he's still communicating with them, that is for you to decide where the line gets drawn. But that's something you're gonna have to communicate to him, and however he reacts is how he reacts. Because of the situation that you're coming out of, it's completely understandable why you would feel this way. So if he is a good boyfriend and he is willing to fix all the damage that's already been done to you, then you shouldn't really have an issue. Like, if he's a good boyfriend, he will understand why you feel the way that you do about the other girls. If he's a bad boyfriend, he won't understand, and he will just want to keep it pushing because you're jealous and insecure. As a woman, it's natural. It's natural to be even if you're the most confident bitch in the world, like, it's natural to be jealous when you see other women or you see your man communicating with other women, because I know I am not necessarily jealous, but territorial. Like, I will pee on my boyfriend and let them know this is my treat. Hell, that's basically all I gotta say about that. I mean, at the end of the day, all these relationship questions come down to is trust, communication, and being realistic and common sense. Okay, hopefully you're going to be able to regain that confidence, and hopefully you'll be able to get over the fact that yes, he had ex-girlfriends, yes, they exist, but they aren't important anymore. I'm what's important, and that's basically it. Keep that in mind, and I wish you all the best. We have another anonymous entry. I just got out of a relationship 5 months ago with this boy, and even though I'm 13, girl, I have strong feelings for him. I don't know why he broke up with me. He won't tell me, but I can't stop thinking about him. We dated for 1 year and 1 month, but I can't tell him how I feel about him because he has a girlfriend. And without him in my life, I've been feeling sad and lost. What should I do? Okay, 13 is like that year. Like, y'all remember the movie 13? I get that you would feel sad and lost, but understand that this is gonna be your first boyfriend of many. Like, it's nothing to even dwell on. If you're feeling sad and lost without him, my advice to you is to just find a hobby to take up doing. Like, there's these cool ass coloring books right now, like adult coloring books. You should get one. They're actually really cool. You just basically just go at it, and they're like kind of abstract. They're really dope. I think I'm gonna get one for myself just to like relieve stress. Boys are stupid, okay? We don't need them. We like them. They're fun to look at, but at the end of the day, they're stupid and they never grow up. Spend as much time as you can with friends right now, and even with like your parents or whatever. Like, just occupy yourself, and before you know it, you'll be over him like that. Like, I went through that when I was 12. I went through it again when I was 17. So it was just like, it's kind of good to experience these things early on in life so that the second time it happens, you can handle it better. At 13, boys don't know what they want. At 18, boys still don't know what they want. So don't take it to heart that he's not telling you why he broke up with you. That's just boys. Like, that's just what it is. They're not the brightest, okay? Girl power. My best advice for you is to just occupy your time and occupy it wisely, and just spend as much time doing other things and new things so that you're not thinking about this person, so that you're so busy that you don't even remember this person's name. Like, go to the mall, have retail therapy, go for Starbucks, play Monopoly, like, do literally anything you can possibly think of. Exercise. That's a great way to get somebody off your mind, is to exercise. So I hope that answers your question. I hope that that was helpful, and yeah, I really want you to just try to find other things to do than worry about this good for nothing boy, honey, because you is popping, he is not, and his new girlfriend's probably not popping either. Okay. Hey Bo, so lately I've been having a very strange problem. I glowed up around August/September. I was so used to no one trying to talk to me and being classified as a wasty